Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namayom Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Swarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So today we are going to discuss on this subject matter Vaishnavas and Varnashram. Do Vaishnavas need to follow Varnasrama Dharma? So basically, first of all, before we understand if Vaishnavas require Varnashram Dharma or not, first of all, we need to understand what is Varnashram and what are the Vaishnavas, who are the Vaishnavas. Okay, so what is Varnashram? According to Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said in 4.13 Chaturvarna Maya Srishtam Gunakana Vivagashaha, that I have divided the orders into four orders. So Prabhupada says four social orders and four spiritual orders of life. So four social orders are Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Brahmanas are like the educators, teachers, educated class. Kshatriyas are the management or manager, leader class. The mercantile class are the Vaishyas and workers, Shudras. And then four orders of spiritual life, spiritual order, four ashramas basically: brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa. This four and four, Krishna nicely said, he divided as per like that. Different places we can get about varnashram in Srimad Bhagavatam. We started from Bhagavad Gita. So first of all, it is clearly evident here that the concept of varnashram, four varnas, four ashramas, they are in ordinary human beings. It's there now. Also, you see that even in our society, also you see that okay, brahmacharis, then grihasthas, then sannyasis, and yeah, some devotees are taking vanaprasthas, different types of vanaprasthas, of course. Sastrik and astrik, with wife, without wife, they go. Then also we see like socially class dividation, Brahmana, Kshatriya, although that might not be that evident, but at least the Brahmana class we see by surname, these are Brahmana, by Gotra Brahmana. Other people might not identify, they might not like to identify, oh, I am a Vaishya, I am a Shudra, but whatever. At least those are Brahmana, they say proudly, I am Brahmana. Because socially it became like this. It became a kind of prestige. Okay, I am Brahmana, so I am prestigious. I'm a Shudra, or he is a Shudra, he is outcast. These are there. So some kind of that type of understanding or that type of currently it became an understanding that this is class system, caste system, and we don't like it at all. It's a dividation. Everybody's talking about equality, all the sectors, men women equality, then all the people, Brahman, Kshatriya, means all the, like, everybody is equal, everybody is same. They're talking about that. So that's why nobody likes the word caste or caste system. So that's why when we come to Krishna consciousness also, and we talk about Varnashram, people misunderstand is a caste system. We don't want again, oh, come on, we don't want this again in our society, in our community, caste system. Why it's good? Everybody is devotee, everybody is Vaishnava. So now what is Vaishnava? Who is Vaishnava? For that we can see in basically that also. in traditional India, we can see that Panchopashakas. Vaishnavas are those who worship Vishnus. They accept Vishnu as supreme personality of Godhead and they worship Vishnus, Vishnu Bhaktas. And then there are Shaivas, worshippers of Shiva, Shaktas, worshipper of Shakti, like goddess Durga, Kali, like that. Or there are, we can see that, Ganapatya, worshippers of Lord Ganesha, and then Shaura, worshippers of Surya, sun god. Panchopashakas. Hmm. So, like, or five different category of people. Amongst them, okay, we are Vaishnavas. So, who are Vaishnavas? Who worship Vaishnava. So, interestingly, if we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, definition of Vaishnava is given nicely. When the residents, devotees of Kulinagram, residents of Kulinagram, Satyaraj Khan, he asked Mahaprabhu, সত্যরাজ বলে বৈষ্ণব চিনিব কেমনে কে বৈষ্ণব কহ তার সামান্য লক্ষণে কে বৈষ্ণব হু ইজ দ্য বৈষ্ণব টেল মি লেট মি নো হু ইজ দ্য বৈষ্ণব সত্যরাজ কহে কে আই হোপ ইউ ক্যান সি দিস সত্যরাজ বলে বৈষ্ণব চিনিব কেমনে কে বৈষ্ণব কহ তার সামান্য লক্ষণে হু ইজ দ্য বৈষ্ণব দেন মহাপ্রভু রিপ্লাইড প্রভু বলে প্রভু কহে যার মুখে শুনি একবার কৃষ্ণ নাম সেই পূজ্য শ্রেষ্ঠ সবাকার ওয়ান হু চ্যান্টস জাস্ট ওয়ান্স Krishna Nam, the name of Krishna. He is the topmost human being, topmost Vaishnava. Then Srila Prabhupada, of course, he quotes, he gives a purport commentary, he quotes Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that one who simply chants the holy name of Krishna once becomes perfect and should be regarded as a Vaishnava. But then again, they asked next year, the same devotee Satyaraj Khan, he asked again, second time, that who is a Vaishnava? Kulin Gramid Purvabot Koilo Nivedon, Purvabot, like previous year, like earlier. Again, they appealed to Mahaprabhu, asked the question, who is a Vaishnava? Prabhu Agya Koro, Amar Kartabya Sadhan, who is a Vaishnava? And please instruct us what is our duty, what should we do, what should I do, what should I execute? Then Prabhu kohe Vaishnav Seva Naam Sankirtan, Dui Koro Shigre Bhabe Shri Krishna Charan, do Vaishnav Seva and Naam Sankirtan. Two things. Serve Vaishnavas, chant the holy name. Then he asked, who is a Vaishnava? Ke Vaishnav, Kitar Lakhon. Tobe Hashi kohe Prabhu Janitar Mon. Mahaprabhu understood his mind and he said that Krishna Naam Nirantar Jahar Bolone. Shei Vaishnav Sreshta Bhojo Taharo Charone. One who always chant. Constantly or constantly he chants. Always one who chants the holy name of Lord. Consistently. Nirantar. He should be considered a first class Vaishnava. And your duty is to serve his lotus feet. Okay. The third definition, third time, again, next time, they asked. Varshantore, again, another year. পুনঃ তারা ওইছে প্রশ্ন করিল বৈষ্ণবেরও তারতম্য প্রভু শিখাইল তারতম্য so the classification or differentiations of Vaishnava is there. So now we have some understanding like that also. Oh, Vaishnavas, everybody is a Vaishnava, so we should not judge Vaishnavas. Of course, we should not judge Vaishnavas, but the point is we should not discriminate also. Whatever Vaishnavas or those who are wearing Vaishnava dress code, whatever they do is spiritual, whatever they do is transcendental. We should not discriminate. We should accept everything. That kind of point might also come. We'll discuss that. So then Mahaprabhu say, Jahar darshane mukhe aishe Krishna naam, tahare janiho tumi Vaishnava pradhan. He whose very presence makes others chant the holy name of Krishna. He is Vaishnava pradhan. He is like best of the Vaishnava, first class Vaishnava. So we can see Uttam Vaishnav, Madhyam Kanishta. We can see like that, or elsewhere Uttam Bhakta, Kanishta Bhakta, Madhyam Bhakta. That definition is also there. Shastra Yukti and Shraddha. Shastra Yukti nahi jane Drudha Shraddhavan. Madhyam Adhikari Shei Mahabhagyavan. One who doesn't have strong philosophical understanding of scriptures, Shastra, Vedic Shastra, Vaishnava Shastras, but he has strong faith, conviction. He is a Madhyam Adhikari and one who, like, যাহার কমল শ্রদ্ধা সে কনিষ্ঠ জন ক্রমে ক্রমে দেহ ভক্ত হইবে উত্তম, one whose faith is very shaky, very tender. He is kanishta and শাস্ত্র যুক্তে সুনিপুণ দৃঢ় শ্রদ্ধা যার উত্তম অধিকারী সেই তারয় সংসার, one who is very expert in shastra yukti, philosophical understanding of Vedic scriptures, Vaishnava scriptures, and who has strong unflinching faith. He is a Vaishnava, a devotee. Vaishnava. So there's a Uttam Bhakta. Okay, so this is the definition of Vaishnava. So now, okay, we discussed a few things about Vaishnava. Let's go back to Varnasrama and then we'll come back again here. Who are like Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. No, this is a big thing. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. First of all, one thing we understand that this Varnasrama system, why people have this misunderstanding, or why do they have kind of, we can say, allergy about Varnasrama, because their thing is caste system. And what's problem with caste system? Oh, is higher, lower, this kind of social respect, disrespect, gradation. They don't like it. They want everything to be just same. So now they don't have this understanding that these social divisions are not based on birth, but these are based on their qualifications, guna and karma, gunas and karma, not based on birth. Like a doctor's son cannot be a doctor by default. Like my father is a doctor, homeopath doctor. So now I can't claim that, okay, I am a doctor just because my father is a doctor. I am also a doctor. All the devotees can come to me when they are sick. I can treat them. Nobody will come to me. Why? I can say my father is a doctor, so I am also a doctor. Why don't you come to me? I'll also open a chamber. I'll do a business. I'll be a doctor and I'll have patients. I will. No, it doesn't work because I haven't studied that medical science. So I cannot claim myself to be a doctor, even though my father is a doctor. I need to acquire the qualification. Then only I can be a doctor. Prabhupada gave the example of judge, high court judge. So judge's son cannot be a judge just because he's the son of the judge. He has to acquire the qualification. He has to study, go through the law college and understand, study law under teachers and get passed. Then he can be accepted as the judge. And government has to appoint him also. So same thing comes here. Brahmana's son cannot be claimed as a Brahmana by default unless he exhibits those qualities of a Brahmana. If he doesn't exhibit those, he will be Brahma Bandhu or Dvijabandhu, what we see in Bhagavatam, like Ashwathama, other cases. Same thing, Kshatriya. Kshatriya's son, Kshatriya, but he has to have that kind of quality. He has to have that kind of ability to fight and protect the citizens. Then he is a Kshatriya, otherwise he is Kshatrabandhu. Kshatrabandhu. Different places in Bhagavatam we see Kshatrabandhu. So this one common understanding in Bhagavatam, 7th canto, we can see Yasya Yallakshanam Proktam Pumsam Varnyabhivyanjakam, as per guna and qualities, qualification, guna, karma and activities. Someone who is doing activity of Shudra and he said, I am a Brahmana, but I am doing Shudra work. He cannot say like that. So that's something important. So 4 Varnas are there. Brahmana, who is a Brahmana? Brahmanas have their 9 qualities according to Bhagavad Gita. We see. Okay. You can see who is the Brahmana, Sama, Shama, Tapa, Shocham, the 9 qualities. I will not go like, yeah, this whole thing is there. Well, not read everything line by line. And who is the Kshatriya? Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. These are the qualities of Kshatriya. Then Vaishyas, Krishi, Goraksha, Vanijyam, farming, cow protection, business, all these things. And Swe Swe Karmanya Bhirataha, who are Shudras, like also, yeah, Shudras, labor and service to others. And then, yeah, Swe Swe Karmanya Bhiratas. Every man can become perfect by following his qualities of work. Yeah. Now, this also that, what does it mean to be by the word perfect when Krishna says that everybody can be perfect by following his work? Okay, we'll see that. So now we can see from this definition that Grihastha, Brahmachari means if the dividation is like 100 years of lifetime, even though we don't see it nowadays, then 25 years is Brahmacharya. Then after 25 years, Grihastha, for another 25 years, then another 25 years, Vanaprastha, 51 to 75, Pancha Shodham Vanam Brajet, and then 75 to 100 is Sannyasam. These are the four ashramas. So now we can also see among the Mahajanas, like 60, like 12, 13, 16, talks about that Vaishnavanam Yatha Shambhu. Shivji, Lord Shiva is a great Vaishnava. But we see his Grihastha pastime, he is a Grihastha. That means Grihastha comes under Varnashram. Then Ambarish Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Parikshit Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, they acted as Grihastha. Okay. So from this consideration, okay, their Grihasthas means under Varnashram. So now we'll discuss that in later part of the discussion that, okay, can we see this, say that Lord Shiva is under Varnashram or like that? So what does it mean to be a like, does it mean to by the word perfect? Samsiddhim labhate naraha. Krishna is saying Samsiddhim labhate nara. Perfect. Do Vaishnavas come under the category of every man who needs to be perfect? Or the Vaishnavas already perfect? Or are all the Vaishnavas perfect? Or there is gradation where there are perfect Vaishnavas and practicing Vaishnavas. First of all, we need to see who is a Vaishnava. We just saw that who is a Vaishnava. So the gradation, we understood that who is a Vaishnava, the gradation is there. So we understand amongst Vaishnavas also, there are gradations. So can you say that all the Vaishnavas, like who are Kanishta, Madhyam, Uttam, none of them requires Varnashram? Or can we, or should we say like, okay, maybe the Uttam Vaishnavas don't require Varnashram, but others do require Varnashram. What is this? What's the definition or what's the point? Also, different arguments I am trying to bring first, then we will try to answer them. Another incident or another famous episode from Chaitanya Charitamrita. Now we are studying from Bhagavatam, where we are bringing Bhagavad Gita and Chaitanya Charitamrita profusely, because according to Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, we cannot understand Srimad Bhagavatam unless we study Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that how to study Bhagavatam, you need to find the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from Chaitanya Charitamrita in Srimad Bhagavatam and understand and study Bhagavatam in that line. So whenever we have to study Srimad Bhagavatam, we need to bring Chaitanya Charitamrita. If someone says you cannot bring Chaitanya Charitamrita, only Bhagavatam, it cannot be possible. So we need to get the Siddhanta, and we are Gaudiya Vaishnavas. That is our ultimate conclusion there. So the famous episode from Chaitanya Charitamrita is conversation between Ramananda Rai and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Where now in Bhagavad Gita we saw that Krishna is the speaker, and Arjuna is Krishna is the speaker, Arjuna is the listener. Arjuna is hearing Bhagavad Gita from Krishna. But in Chaitanya Charitamrita we see that Arjuna came as Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai was a combined incarnation of Arjuna and Vishakha also. So he is Arjuna. Ramananda Rai is Arjuna. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna. So in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is the speaker, Arjuna is the listener. And here in Chaitanya Charitamrita, it became the opposite. Ramananda Rai became the speaker, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the here listener. So kind of okay. I will test you what I taught you in Bhagavad Gita. Have you understood or not? I will test you. I will ask you question, and you answer me. And Ramananda Rai is repeating what he heard from Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, same Bhagavad Gita slokas, Bhagavad Gita points, and we will see, and we see that what happened. First he said, "Prabhu kohe kaho rai sadhyero nirnoy." What is the ultimate perfection of life? Ramananda Rai said that Swadharma Acharane Vishnu Bhakti hoy. Rai ko Swadharma Acharane Vishnu Bhakti hoy. You follow Swadharma, you Varnashram and Swadharma, so that will give you Vishnu Bhakti. So now Mahaprabhu he said, no, iha bahya aake kaho. This is external. Go more deep, dive more deep into that. So then Ramananda Rai brought other points. Okay, that Krishna Karmarpan, he quoted Yat Karashi, Yadashnashi, Yajjuhasi Tadasiyat, all these things Mahaprabhu say, Iha Bahya. Then Ramananda Rai said that, okay, Ramananda Rai said, Mahaprabhu again asked, what is ultimate perfection sadhya? Ramananda Rai said, okay, Krishna Karmarpan, Mahaprabhu said, Iha Bahya. Then he said, Karma Tyag. Dharma Tyag. Then he said Varnashram. Varnashram Acharavata Purushena Parapuman. Mahaprabhu said, no, Iha Bahya. Then he said Sarva Dharman Parityaja. That also Mahaprabhu said Iha Bahya. So there also you see that then Ramananda Rai he quoted from Bhagavatam Jnane Prayasa Mudapasya about hearing chanting. Then Mahaprabhu said Iha Hoy. This is okay, this is fine, go Aage Koho Aad. Proceed ahead. So now this is a point with which in devotee community or Vaishnava community, there are some understanding or some point argument is that see Mahaprabhu has rejected Varnashram. He said Iha Bahya Age Koha. It's rejected. Mahaprabhu rejected Varnashram. So this Varnashram is not required. We are Vaishnavas, we are devotees, we don't need to bother about Varnashrama. We just go ahead about this just chant Hare Krishna. We don't require Varnashrama. So this created kind of some understanding that no, we don't require Varnashrama. So now we need to understand this point that means what? Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai quoted Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadharma Parityajya, and Mahaprabhu said Iha Bahya. So that means with that same logic, if we say that Mahaprabhu rejected Varnashrama, that means we say Mahaprabhu rejected Bhagavad Gita also. The ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is Sarvadharman Parityajya. And Mahaprabhu said Iha Bahya. So Mahaprabhu said Varnashram also Iha Bahya. He said Sarvadharman Parityajya also Iha Bahya. So if you say that Mahaprabhu rejected Varnashram just by saying Iha Bahya, that means we can say Mahaprabhu rejected Bhagavad Gita also by saying here by here. That means Bhagavad Gita is rejected. We don't need to read Bhagavad Gita. Is this the conclusion we bring from Ramananda Rai, Mahaprabhu conversation that just like he rejected Varnashram, he rejected Bhagavad Gita. We don't require to read Bhagavad Gita. How will that be? No, we understand clearly. This is a silly point, silly argument. No, Mahaprabhu didn't reject the ultimate conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. He just said it's Bahya is external. Like when I was in class 2, in smaller class in primary kindergarten school, I was taught 2 plus 2 is equal to 4 and 2 minus 2 is equal to 0 and 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. But 2 minus 4 we cannot deduct a bigger number from a smaller number. We cannot do 2 minus 4. Fine. So that was our understanding. Now when I came to like higher class, higher math and all, so then we were taught, introduced with the idea that okay, now till this point you have heard or you have learned 2 minus 2 is equal to 0, 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. Now you will learn that 2 minus 4 is minus 2. I remember that I was thinking that how come they all these years till class 5, I think in 6th standard we were introduced that. Till class 5th standard I knew that or 2 minus 2 is 0, but 2 minus 4 is nothing. We cannot do that. But now something new has come. 2 minus 4 is minus 2. Why is that? No, they are now you are like higher math. So they call this higher mathematics from class 6. So same thing. So in smaller class, limited understanding. Limited understanding. Now when you go to higher class, you are given higher understanding. So in Bhagavad Gita also you see Prabhupada said this is ABCD of Krishna consciousness or spiritual education. And Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would call that Upanishads as Shishu Vidya, kindergarten education, like alphabet, Varnamala, Borno Purichoy. Just like small kid is taught ABCD, F for apple, B for ball. Similarly, a spiritual is a transcendentalist. When he comes to transcendental learning, education, first he is taught ABCD. What is ABCD? Upanishads, Vedas. So these are like Shishu Vidya. Then higher level, ultimate Srimad Bhagavatam. So similarly, so then Bhagavad Gita is on the same level of Upanishad, Gita Upanishad. Bhagavad Gita also like this. That's why we see in Bhagavad Gita level, Varnashram is there. Even Mukti is glorified. Going back to Godhead, Prabhupada writes that in chapter 15, one should be captivated by this information of spiritual world, and he should try to go back to Godhead. So going back to Godhead is glorified and kind of promoted as our ultimate goal of life. But when we come to last point of Bhagavad Gita, we say Sarvadharman Parityajya, and then Bhagavatam starts from this point, Dharma Pradujita Kaitavatra Paramondirmastaranam Satam. And so Pradujita Kaitavatra Parama means what? That it rejects Kaitava Dharma. What is that? This is the Mukti. Taro Madhya Mukti Bansha Kaitava Pradhan. Desire for liberation is Kaitava Pradhan. So going back to Godhead becomes also Mukti. I want to get liberation, Mukti. So that is rejected from the beginning of Bhagavatam. And throughout the Bhagavatam we see different prayers where they reject Mukti, all the personalities. Now Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is no question of Mukti. It's for directly devotees of Mahaprabhu. Highest standard of like epitome of Gauriya Vaishnava philosophy is given there. So this has created one understanding that we don't require Varnashrama. But we see Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that what is Varnashrama? According to Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is like this? Basically, I could have started the point discussion by saying this statement, but tried to build up that whole scenario, whole step by step. Otherwise, whole thing could be finished within 1-2 lines. That Bhaktivinoda Thakur said that what is Varnashrama? Varnashram is a life or living lifestyle, we can say, of a Vaishnava in conditioned state. A Vaishnava, a devotee of Lord, when he is conditioned. Bhaktivinoda Thakur's words are simple. In Bengali he said, সাধন কালে যে পর্যন্ত হৃদয়ে কাম আছে সে পর্যন্ত বর্ণাশ্রমাদি ধর্মের অপেক্ষা থাকে. That when a practicing sadhaka, practicing Vaishnava, when he is practicing Krishna consciousness, as long as he has desires for material sense gratification in his heart, till that point he requires Varnashrama. But a devotee, a Vaishnava, if he is freed from material desires or any other ulterior motives, is completely freed from these, freed from all the anarthas, beyond anartha nivritti, and freed from anarthas, got that ruchi asakti, taste attachment for the holy name and the lotus feet of Krishna, then that Vaishnava, then that devotee, he doesn't require Varnashram. He doesn't require Varnashram. So a pure perfect soul, a pure perfect devotee, he doesn't require Varnashram. Just like we see Madhavendra Puripad, his famous shloka, Sandhya Vandana Bhadramastu Bhavato Bhosnana Tubhyam Namo Bhodeva Pitarascha Tarpana Vidho Naham Kshamaksham. He clearly said that, oh, Sandhya Vandana and all, please forgive me, I cannot do Sandhya Vandana, I cannot offer oblations to the demigods or devas, please forgive me. Why? Because I cannot bring my mind out from remembering Madhava. So that's the point. A pure devotee like Mugdham Mam Nigadantun, that verse also is said. Niti Nipuna, Bhranta Muhur Vaidika. Let all these Vaidikas, all these people criticize me, think me madman, or think me, call me crazy. But I will just remember the lotus feet of Yadava, Yadava, Pati, Yadavuttamakula, Pati, Yadunath. So, a devotee, when he is purely perfect, he doesn't require Varnashrama. So, now let's come to our Srila Prabhupada. Our Srila Prabhupada, of course, if this evidence are asked, we can show this evidence are there. One can study Srila Prabhupada's instruction, Srila Prabhupada's his whole teachings. In the beginning, Srila Prabhupada was saying that, oh, we don't require Varna. There are quotations, we don't require Varnashram. It's not possible in this Kali Yuga. Just chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So, if I'm allowed to quote here, I can quote here His Grace Sureshwar Prabhu. He was giving actually the seminar. Our Srila Prabhupada, our founder Acharya, that seminar of Srila Prabhupada. So there he was brilliantly quoting. For this time constraint, I am not able to show all the quotes and bring everything here. But he was nicely showing that how till almost till 1970, 71, Srila Prabhupada was saying like that we don't require Varnashrama. Varnashrama is not possible in Kali Yuga. Just chant Hare Krishna, preach the holy name, chant the holy name. Prabhupada gave sannyas. He gave like made brahmacharis. Just chant the holy name. But then when Prabhupada saw that all these fall downs were happening and different things were happening, non-Vaishnava things were happening in the community, crazy things, divorces were happening, and other things. So Prabhupada got a bit upset. Prabhupada said, okay, then after 1970s, 1971, Prabhupada started to say that, okay, we don't require Varnashrama, but we need to establish Varnashrama in order to set up an example for the society. So we need to establish Varnashrama society, Varnashrama, we need to follow it in order to bring all the people, preach to them for the sake of preaching. But after 1974, last 2-3 years, till 1977, Prabhupada was, if someone analyzes and studies Prabhupada's teaching, Prabhupada was saying that no, we require Varnashram. We are not that elevated, we are not that great what we thought. We require Varnashram. Our devotees need to have Varnashram. So we need to follow Varnashram. That's why till the last moment also, Prabhupada was lying on that bed when he was departing from this earthly planet, and Prabhupada was saying that only 50% of my mission is fulfilled. Only 50%. Other 50% is still remaining. What is that? That's establishing Varnashram, Deva Varnashrama, establishing farm community, showing that lifestyle, simple living, high thinking, depending on God, depending on Krishna, agrarian lifestyle, all these things Prabhupada he was pointing out. So we can connect that to Srimad Bhagavatam that yes, we do require Varnashram. Why not? If we have material desire, then we require Varnashram. Now, what happened? A funny thing, I can give an example. In like in one place, devotees had one football tournament. They were playing football. Like different teams were made, and all the devotees. I can say okay, it's in Mayapur. And in Mayapur, then we have almost 8 to 10,000 devotees living in a small area, small place. Everybody is devotee, amazing. We see that's another classic example we brought, as we brought already Mayapur example. Let's discuss that, because Prabhupada wanted Mayapur to be an ideal spiritual city. Prabhupada wanted 12 cities all over the world, spiritual cities. One is temple like Calcutta or Mumbai. Different temples are there. But Prabhupada wanted spiritual cities, Mayapur being the first city. And city means Prabhupada wanted like all the place, like temple and then Goshala, and then Prabhupada wanted Grihastha area. Like for he wanted Varnasrama. Prabhupada already pointed out that we have four corners, and then Prabhupada drew a line in four corners, Brahmanas one side, Grihasthas, Kshatriyas one side, Vaishya Shudra in four parts they can live. Brahmana area, Kshatriya area, like that. Prabhupada had the idea. And then Brahmachari quarter, Grihastha quarter, everything Prabhupada perfectly. He had a plan in his mind. Then Prabhupada was asked, do all the devotees required to need Brahman Diksha, Brahman initiation? Prabhupada said, no, it's not required. Though devotees who will do Brahmanical service, only they can take Brahman Diksha. Others are not those who will serve as a Vaishya, Kshatriya, Shudra. They don't require this Brahman Diksha. So we have nice Vaishnava community in Mayapur Dham, 8 to 10,000 devotees. Everywhere devotees. We go to grocery shop to buy grocery. There are devotees. We go to this buying vegetables. The devotee. We call the electrician or plumber. He is a devotee in dhoti kurta tilak. Initially, devotees coming and doing the plumbing work or electrical work. Everybody is devotee. Nice devotee community. But the point is, as not all are pure devotees. We are sadhakas, struggling sadhakas. Like we are doing our sadhana bhakti, practicing Vaishnavas, we can say. We still have our anarthas. So lots of devotees means lots of jivatmas here, means lots of anarthas also together. So different kinds or different variations of devotees we get to see. Different varieties of Vaishnava behavior variations we get to see. So once some devotees organize a football tournament and different teams they were playing, okay, fine. And then there was a final match. We didn't know that what is going on, that such kind of thing was going on. But then when the final tournament, final game was there, so they kind of decorated the stadium, that field. They made a kind of high-raised platform, pandal, and banners, festoons were there. There was microphone, amplifier, sound system. One devotee was doing live commentary, like in football match we see on the television. Like there was the live commentary on the mic. Then there were some other devotees who were selling some kind of foodstuffs like bara pav or pani puri or all kind of things. They were samosa they were selling, and other devotees are watching the game. And somebody broadcasted it on Facebook as live. That see who said devotees' life is boring. Krishna consciousness is boring. See, devotees are playing football in Mayapur. I'm so enjoyable. Wow, amazing. Like that. So then some other, okay, it went on like that. Then we have some different Vaishnava groups, online Google groups or Gmail groups, forums, WhatsApp group, and all kind of things. All kind of discussions. All this go on. Kind of all kind of things. So someone brought the discussion topic there. Why should this happen? Devotees are playing football. They are wasting time. This is frivolous sports. Prabhupada said no frivolous sports, and wasting time. Why is this? This is Maya. Then other group said that no, why what's the problem in this? It was lockdown and all the people they are locked up in the room. So now sometime they have got they need to have some kind of relaxation and some kind of physical exercise. What's wrong in this? So then other group said no, do you need uh, this kind of exercise? You go and take bath in Ganges, you chant and dance in the holy in the kirtan, you do dham parikrama, all your exercise body will be fit. And why do you need playing football for recreation? You read Bhagavatam and um, you take darshan, you do the service, you preach, you chant, like that. So it was going on. So other group said, no, what's wrong in that? Even Krishna Balaram played football. In Bhagavatam, we can say that they've played with balls. What's wrong in us playing? All kind of discussion was going on, debate was going on. So then the admin of the group, they stopped that discussion, that loop, that channel, the thread, they deleted it. Said, no, no more discussion here. You people do discuss in different platform forum. So now, what is the conclusion? Can devotees play football in Mayapur Dham, in the holy Dham of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Should devotees play football or not? So I am not going to bring any conclusion, or not going to say anything for that. But why I brought this point, that why did this discussion or this debate came in the first place? It's common thing. We have a bigger community, okay, bigger community here, and different kinds of people are there. So maybe playing football, of course, unless they do gambling. If they do gambling, is clearly is breaking four regulatory principles. Maybe a devotee is going and just kicking on the ball, and not that kind of challenging or kind of unhealthy competition. Not like that. But maybe the kids are playing, a devotee's goal, and for some time some exercise he did. Maybe that is not as bad as eating meat. If a person kills an animal and eats the meat, that's clearly sinful activity. It's evidently sinful activity. The hellish consequences it will bring, killing an animal and eating meat, chicken and goat, all kind of thing. So playing football is not as sinful as or is not bad, we can say, as eating meat, isn't it? Or just like, maybe we cannot compare just playing football to eating meat or taking intoxication or having illicit sex. We cannot say like that. Unless the devotee is gambling. If gambling is a different thing, but if not gambling, just okay, just going and kicking on the ball, kind of exercise is that. But the point is, if we bring Varnashrama, if we understand Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, maybe for a Kshatriya who has a Kshatriya inclination, maybe he can go and maybe he can do, and that kind of playing is allowed. Or Vaishya or Shudra, okay, certain things he can be doing. But for a Brahmana cannot go and do that. Or he will not, even who is a Brahmana, we understand that Brahmana will not have a taste. He will not have a ruchi for doing that, for going and playing football. He will not have a taste to ask even, okay, who scored how many goals? Because for Brahmana, his means his recreation. He doesn't need to do a recreation, relaxation of mind by playing football. He is studying Bhagavatam. Tadeva Ramyam Ruchiram Navam Navam. Tadeva Shashwan Manaso Mahotsavam. He is studying Bhagavatam. That itself is recreation, great festival for mind for him. Taking bath in Ganges, doing parikrama of the Dham. He is happy, he is relaxed, and his whole exercise, everything is done by Dham parikrama and everything. So, what the other group of devotees were trying to point out that, oh, why should you play football? You go into Dham parikrama, read Bhagavatam. They were trying to focus on pinpoint, okay, being a Brahmana, that you should be Brahmana and do like that. But the other group, they say, no, we can play football. It's not a big deal. We are not doing any crime here. Means they were trying to indicate, okay, it's not non-Brahmana Vaishnava, something like that. Hmm? Uh, that if we understand this, so now in one sense, we said that we reject Varnashram. We don't need Varnashram. Other sense, we want to play football. We want to do this. We want to do that. How can that be possible? So in third chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada writes in the beginning of one purport, Prabhupada writes that if someone follows Varnashram, he can enjoy. So this whole notion or idea people has that Varnashram means we cannot enjoy, or we want to enjoy. So in one sense, we want to claim we are the best of devotees. Other sense, we want to enjoy. That cannot happen. You claim, or you understand, you admit that, okay, I am not a Brahmana, or I cannot be just like a Brahmana and just whole day just reading, chanting, or worshipping the deity or doing services. I cannot just be like that. I need to do something physical. I need to go and I need to play, and sometimes I need to have some recreation, and like that. So then I admit, okay, yeah, not a Brahmana, other Varnas, other than Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, one of them. So Prabhupada wanted like that. We will have this kind of like automatically this is evident in the society. This kind of classification is evident in the society. So now what is happening? Same thing here. Previously in now what we see in the schools, education for all. Same kind of education for all. Just put everybody in the education. The teacher goes to the class and he's the 50 kids or let's say 30 kids are there and nobody wants to study. These kids don't want to study. They want to play, they don't want to do other kind of activities. They don't want to study. They might have interest in music or sports or art, but not in study. Why so? So that the teacher is having tough time to make them study. The parents are having tough time to make them study. But the parents expect my son will be a doctor or engineer. But the son wants to be a footballer, or maybe the daughter wants to be a musician. Hmm. But the parents want their kids to be doctor, engineer, or professor, whatever. So in Vedic times, there was Gurukul system, there was also education, but it was not for all. We see Krishna Balaram, they were son of Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan. They didn't go to Gurukul. How did they pass their time? They were uh, grazing cows and faster for calves and then cows. They're playing flute and playing in the jungle, in the forest of Vrindavan, having picnic, enjoying their life. Wow. So it means son of Vaishya, they were living like a Vaishya. They didn't need to go to Gurukul and read the books and memorize the shlokas and other things. But when they came to Mathura, son of Vasudev, now they were sent to the school of Sanjeevani Muni. Now you go to school and you read. That's the thing. So whole education system we are having now that everybody is getting educated, getting the degree, and they're running around the degree, no job, no job. They're getting frustrated. So in Vedic Gurukula, the Brahmanas would come for study, Kshatriyas would come for study, like Krishna Balaram came, or like Ram Lakshman, they studied. So then after the graduation, after the pass, and then Vaishya Shudras, they would have informal education studies in their locality. Like they would learn that family occupation, father's occupation. He would learn from his father, from his uncle, like that. And basic, whatever, shishtachar, whatever etiquette, they would learn from their family, from their society to learn, to lead their life. But nowadays, what is happening? We brought everything together. So what would happen that time? So then they would pass out from Gurukul. The Kshatriyas would go back to their place. They would be the king or the rulers, fighters, warriors. They would protect the citizens, fight and protect the citizens, and like that they would maintain their life. And those who are Brahmanas by qualification, they would pass out from Gurukul and they would go back to their place and they would start their own Gurukul or Chatushpati and they would be the teachers. So Prabhupada said, what is Chatushpati? That Chatushpati means village school. So all the Brahmanas, they would have their own school. They would sit under a tree, under on the veranda of their house or on the bank of Ganges. They would teach. Students would come and they would teach. The life was like that, peaceful. So the Brahmanas would be teachers. Not the Kshatriya will come and say, I will be a Brahman, I will be a teacher, I will teach. I will start a Gurukul Chatushpati, I will teach. No. Kshatriya means the Kshatriya, he will do fighting and his own propensity, his guna karma, he would do in like that. A Vaishya, not the Vaishya would come and say, I will make a education business here. No. Hmm. So nowadays, what is happening? The Vaishyas, they are controlling the education. So education has become a big business education. Open big schools and earn money, and to some extent spiritual education is also spiritual courses has become kind of another business, so whatever. So that was Vedic time Varnashrama education, but now everybody, okay, just everybody should go to school. So in the class, and it's like a pyramid, it's like pyramid, like a pyramid. In the bottom of the pyramid is thicker, is wider. The more you go up, the top point of the pyramid is a pinpoint. So similarly in the society, Shudras are more, then lesser are Vaishyas, then lesser than that are Kshatriya, then least are Brahmanas. Hmm. One Brahmana do sufficient to guide thousands of Vaishya, Shudra, Kshatriyas of a society. Like that. Now we just put, now the parents are pushing the kids that you study and you become doctor, engineer. The teachers are pushing, but the kid wants to be a footballer or musician or artist. Yeah. basically musician, like a Shudra, they want to be in that way. So point is, first of all, we need to understand, we need to understand and accept the reality that maybe I am not a Brahmana, or I am not a Kshatriya, or whatever, or my kids is not Brahmana or Kshatriya. Understand it, and we understand that everybody, Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, everybody has chance in Krishna consciousness. Everybody has chance. But of course, those who have Shudra tendencies, they might be a bit finer, will difficult in Brahmanical services. But whatever, whichever way. So that's what Krishna consciousness is. If someone takes shelter of the holy name, whole process of Krishna consciousness, then one can become first class Brahmana. That's what Prabhupada expected. He said he wanted that our Krishna consciousness movement should create first class Brahmanas. Just like a Mrigadi, he was a hunter, cruel hunter. He would kill animals, half kill, half dead, and he would relish. Uh, he would be so joyful by seeing this poor animal suffering. And that Mrigari became such a compassionate devotee that he was jumping to avoid the ants. Hmm. So, actually speaking, let's say I am a Vaishya or I am a Shudra by my nature. So, how come I have become Shudra or Vaishya? So, I have become Shudra or Vaishya after life, after life, after life, means that whole Shudra tendency or nature in me got accumulated. Now, in this life, it's strong, thick, condensed Swabhava in me. I am a Shudra now. I cannot just change it. That's why all these slokas in Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam said that okay, Swadharma Nidhanam Sreya Pradharma Bhayavaha Swese Karmanya Viratam, that whatever is your Varna or Dharma, you just follow that. Don't try to imitate somebody else, because it's not possible to change your Varna or Dharma like that. Whatever Guna Karma you have got, okay, just follow that. But only by Krishna consciousness, that also not casual Krishna consciousness. Only by Uttama Bhakti or Tibra Bhakti, Tibrena Bhakti Yogena, by strong, unflinching, uninterrupted Krishna consciousness, what is taught to us by our Acharya Srila Prabhupada, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, what is taught to us, by that we can see it's possible to change our, from Shudra can become a first class Brahmana. That's what is expected. That's why when we use the word Vaishnava is high, Vaishnava is higher than Brahmana. That means Vaishnava should have higher quality than Brahmana. Let's say there's a four-storied building, or let's say five-storied building. Bottom is Shudra, ground floor, then first floor is Vaishya, second floor is, let's say, Kshatriya, third floor is Brahmana, and fourth floor is Vaishnava. Let's say like that. So now a Vaishnava is higher than Brahmana. That means Vaishnava should have higher qualities than Brahmanas. Vaishnava should have more renunciation than Brahmanas. Vaishnava should have be more simple and all the qualities. And he is a devotee of Krishna. That's all. So if I am on the now, gradually point is that okay, we should gradually come to down level, first floor, second floor, third floor, fourth floor. But we say that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us a direct process, a lift. We don't need to go by staircase. So press the button directly, you come to fifth floor. So understand, okay, let's say Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us this process like a lift, chant Hare Krishna, and you can be a Vaishnava. Press on lift button and you directly come to fifth floor. So let's say I'm on the fifth floor. I have 4 floors down below me. Now, these 4 floors also should be intact, isn't it? Somebody puts a bomb in the first floor or second floor. There's earthquake in the first floor, or there is some problem. Somebody breaks the walls, pillars of first floor, second floor. Will I be safe in the fifth floor? No. So all the 4 floors below me should be intact and safe, protected. So similarly, I should also have more renunciation, more simplicity, more truthfulness than other the below all this four, even more higher than Brahmanas. So actually, what happens when we understand the teaching, when we read the teachings of Mahaprabhu and Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Srila Prabhupada, we kind of get a kind of understanding or kind of idea. It's kind of attitude to develop that we are the best. We are chanting. We are doing. We are the best. Yeah, of course we are the. What process we got? This is the best process we have got. And we always see that, okay, karmis, gyanis, oh, this karmis, gyanis, yogis, these are law, and we are the top, we are the best, we are the highest. We get that type of attitude. Why is like that? Let's say there is one person. Let's get one analogy, that there is one guy, who is one fellow, who has took some loan from bank and got bankrupt, and he had some 10 lakhs loan on his head, or some 1 crore loan his hand, and he is running around escaping. Police is behind him, and he's a criminal. He's a criminal. He went to the abroad by some 10 crores loan or something like that. Police is trying to catch him. It's like that. Better than him is a person who doesn't have any loan. Maybe he is a beggar. Okay, he doesn't have any loan. Police is not. He is not a criminal. Police is not hunting for him. He's just a beggar. He lives on the footpath, and he begs, and he lives his life. Okay. But better than him, a person who lives in a slum. He doesn't beg. He is a day worker. He works in construction or what kind of thing, whatever. Daily wages he get. He lives in a slum. He has a place and he earns his money. Okay, better, yeah. Better than him is a person who earns a kind of moderate job. He rents a place. He rents a place and stay like that. Better than him, a person who owns a house, maybe apartment of ancestral property house, got some business or got a job, stable job, earning money, got his father's money. He had some 50 lakhs in his account, something like that. Is good. He will say he's a rich man. He has got his own house, 50 lakhs in his bank, he's doing his job, he's a rich man. Better than him, maybe we can say a person who has 5 crores. He a billionaire, he has got 5 crores, and he has 2 3 houses, 4 5 houses, and he's a rich man. But if we compare even that person also with maybe Mukesh Ambani, can you compare him? According to the beggar, or according to the person who is living on the slum, this 5 crore owner, crorepati, he's a crorepati, he's a big man, big shock. But according to this so-called big shock, Mukesh Ambani, wow, we can't just compare him. According to Mukesh Ambani, this 5 crore owner is nothing. He's done nothing. Mukesh Ambani's his employees, or maybe his driver will be more richer than this so-called businessman, or like that. Hmm? So with Mukesh Ambani, when you compare, all these people are just like tiny creatures. That's all. Okay, nothing. But if we compare this 5 crore owner person, is compared to that person who is having a bankrupt and got loan, like he is such a established person. So how we can say the person who got bankrupt and ran away in the abroad, let's say he is like a sinner who is doing vikarma. He is doing sinful activities. That means he is about to go to hell and going to get punished by Yamraj. So he is doing vikarmi. He is like a sinner. That's all. Nastik vikarmi. That's all. Hmm. Then who is a beggar in analogy? The beggar is one who is he may be nastik or astik, whatever. He is not doing any sinful activity. He is moral. He is moral. That's all. He is just following his lifestyle. That's all. Fine. He is not doing any sinful activities. He is not very like that. He is like beggar. Then who is the slum person, daily worker? He might be a person who is doing some kind of ritualistic activities. He is a dharmic person doing some kind of dharma, and he is maybe, let's say, he's a karmi, do sakam karma. He's doing sakam karma, and whatever he earns, whatever daily money he gets, he lives like that, eats and lives like that. So he's a sakam karmi. And higher than them, a person who has his, let's say, own a house and own job, some money, some 5 lakh, 10 lakh, maybe let's say he's a gyani. Hmm. And higher than him, maybe a crorepati, 5 crore, he is a yogi. He is higher than them. But a pure devotee is like Mukesh Ambani. Like there is no comparison. That much gap, we can say. That much gap. So that's why from when you compare from the angle of Mukesh perspective, from the position of Mukesh Ambani, when you see that crorepati or lakpati, we don't consider them like anything. Similarly, when Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur and Srila Prabhupada and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are looking from pure devotional service perspective. They don't consider karma, jnana, all these things. Just these are things are like that. They give an impression that if you are doing sakam karma, you are doing sinful activity. It's very wrong. Something crime you are doing by doing sakam karma. It's correct. Hmm? So this is correct. That's the point. From pure devotional service perspective, Varnashrama is nothing. We don't require it. Pure devotional service. But when we from the bottom, when we see towards up, oh, so that's the thing we can see. If we claim that we don't require Varnashram, that's what I can say from my own experience being in Mayapur Dham, spiritual world, spiritual place, Mahaprabhu's land, Navadvip Dham, with devotee community. I can see that, yeah, like we claim that we don't require Varnashrama, but we see all kind of non-Vaishnava activities also going on. Mm. A person, Vaishnava, is stealing. A Vaishnava is chanting, he is dhoti kurta mala, initiated, is stealing, getting punished. They are having illicit affair, all kind of things happening. So why all kind of things should happen? So that's why we require Varnashrama. We need to bring Varnashrama into the picture. We need to make our devotees educated about that. And then they can understand, okay, you are allowed, there is allowance for you to enjoy. You can enjoy being within that boundary of Varnashram. Varnashram is a good boundary, just like the example is given of a cow. A cow is tied with, with her neck, with the pole, with the rope. So cow is tied up. Oh, it's cruelty to cow. No, it's not cruelty. It's for the safety of the cow. If we don't tie her up, she will go in somebody else's field and eat the grains or crops, and they will beat her. Or maybe she will go into the forest and the ferocious animals, tiger and all, will come and attack her, kill her. So for her own safety, we are tying her up. Similarly, Varnashram is given to us for our own safety. And those who want to, like, you have enjoyment desire, okay, follow Varnashram within that realm, within that boundary, you can enjoy. But if you say, no, I don't want to, mentally, I don't want to accept Varnashram, but physically, externally, I want to enjoy, I want to break the principles, then that creates havoc. Shruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatram Vidhim Vina. Externally crying profusely and shedding tears and doing Nirjala Ekadashi also, but on the other hand, doing non-devotional activity also. So Mukunda, he went to, Mahaprabhu was giving love of God here. Mahaprabhu was bestowing prema to all the devotees, but he was not calling Mukunda. The devotees said, why are you not calling Mukunda? Mahaprabhu said, the Mukunda I'll not call him, or it's like Khorjetiya. Khorjetiya means what? He is he, when he comes to us, he chants the holy name, he dances and sings. But when he goes to Karmik Gyanis, he listens to them also and he agrees to them also. So, double standard. Khorjetiya, Mahaprabhu said, what is Khorjetiya? Khorjetiya means the farmer is feeding grains to the cow from the front side. Khor is feeding straw to the cow from the front. From the back side, farmer is beating also the cow. So you are beating also and you are feeding also. It's a Khorjetiya. So Mahaprabhu said, when you are coming to me and you are okay, glorifying the holy name and chanting the holy name, you are singing, okay, you are like feeding. But on the other hand, when you are going to Karmis Gyanis and you are listening to them, it's like beating me. So just because Mukunda heard Karmi Gyanis, that itself Mahaprabhu became so angry. And now if that kind of, and we also see Chota Haridas, all these examples, just because he glanced, these things Mahaprabhu rejected him. So, but if a devotee of Mahaprabhu does that kind of nonsensical activities, or sometimes like, yeah, directly sinful activities like stealing or harming others, if this kind of things happen, so why did this kind, like, let's say a devotee, he joined Krishna consciousness with that heart. Uh, we have also seen the case, a devotee, he joined Krishna consciousness, joined the ashram, brahmacharya ashram, left his father, parents, and everything, like enjoyment, what called material life. He renounced his life and joined ashram. After some time, maybe he go back to grihastha life. Okay, and then he does some kind of nonsense activities also, sinful activities also, harming others or maybe stealing money, this kind of thing also. So why did this happen? This is the same person few years back who, for pure devotional service, he wanted pure devotional service. He surrendered his life to Mahaprabhu, to his spiritual master, to Prabhupada. Took shelter of the holy name. He everything, like he gave up everything. And same person, he is stealing money now, harming other Vaishnavas now. How come this happened? How this whole major 180-degree opposite paradigm shift? How did this happen? Because of not educating about Varnashram. If he would be taught about Varnashram, okay, you can be in your in proper education about Krishna consciousness. What is Krishna consciousness? What is Varnashram? Proper education to him. That okay, you be in your Varna, in your Swabhava, and acknowledge that, admit that, follow according to that, and there is allowance. You can, within that realm, you can lead your, fulfill your desires, and gradually you progress. Of course, you will not have rapid or fast progress. You have gradual progress. Oh, fine, go ahead with gradual progress. Gradual progress is better than degradation or fall down or such kind of sinful activities. So we require that kind of understanding or education seriously in our society, community, to follow Varnashrama. And yeah, Varnashrama is not pure devotional service, definitely. It's external. That's why in out of 64 limbs of devotional service in Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Rupa Goswami didn't say following Varnashram. After saying 64, then he came and he said Varnashram. Out of Varna means Varnashram, following Varnashram is not devotional service. But this is conducive, this is favorable to devotional service. This is good. So whatever is favorable, bhakti anukulya, matra karjata svikar, anukulyasya sankalpa, pratikulyasya varjanam. So that is required. And in the paper, we can also see that all descriptions from different places in Bhagavatam. And also, you see Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. At that time, the trend when Bhaktivinoda Thakur took Babaji Vesha, Babaji is said to be Paramams and out of Varnashrama. And like that, others, Gaurkishta Savaji Maharaj, Jagannath Savaji Maharaj was there. But then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he took sannyas and he gave sannyas. Because these people, they think that okay, just by taking Babaji Vesh, they can be Paramahamsa, they can go beyond Varnashram, they can be transcendental, but on the same time, they are doing this kind of nonsensical activities. So that's why I said, no, no, you follow Varnashram, you take this Brahmacharya Sannyasi, this Varnashrama social orders, you accept them, spiritual orders, social orders, and then you follow, practice Krishna consciousness. Then when you are pure, you go progress like that. So, mhm. So I have also quoted from Bhakti Siddhanta way about Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, how he was trying to protect and establish that. Srila Prabhupada's profusely we can see the ultimate purpose, what Prabhupada wanted, devotees to follow Varnashram, because the ultimate purpose of Varnashram is to come to the point of Krishna consciousness. Atah Pumpudivya Shrestha Varnashram Vibhagasha, Bhagavatam, first and second chapter. Those verses are there. Sonustri Dasya Dharmasya Samsuddhir Haritoshanam. Ultimate purpose is to please Krishna. And how in different yugas, how Varnashram was there, those things we can see in Bhagavatam 11th canto. And then we can see more in 7th canto of Bhagavatam, chapters 11 to 15. How clearly, beautifully. Again in Varnashram we can see that topic we couldn't touch about man, women. As a whole huge thing, whole discussion will come, man, women, Stri Dharma comes under Varnashrama. How should the women behave? Man, women equality, and all these things, all these perspectives. So, if we don't acknowledge these things, the teachings of Bhagavatam, teachings of our acharyas, men should follow this Varnashrama, 4 Varnas, and women should follow Stri Dharma, follow the husband. And women, they should be surrendered, subordinate to their husbands, and then they progress, everybody progress easily. Otherwise, so-called artificial equality, women empowerment that will create havoc in the society, and they can't like. Oh, someone might say, "Oh, why to bother about? Just chant Hare Krishna, na." Okay, if you can chant Hare Krishna like Haridas Thakur, then you chant. Otherwise, you chant Hare Krishna, you'll think of something other thing, and you chant for 2 hours, and other 10 hours you will do something nonsense. That is not something like that. So if we don't have Varnashrama, if we don't have like proper this whole setup, environment, Stri Dharma and four Varnas, then we'll not be able to chant also. Like whole situation is like that. Everybody thing will be disturbed. Okay, so that was some understanding of that whatever I could hear and understand, hearing from my spiritual teachers and ultimately from Srila Prabhupada and Acharyas, I could try to present. Please correct me, clarify me if wherever uh, any kind of error is there. Hare Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Hari Bol. So ultimate conclusion is that we can say in few words again that do Vaishnavas require Varnashrama? Answer is, if the Vaishnava is practicing Vaishnava and having material desire, then yes, they need to follow Varnashrama. But if they are perfectly pure Vaishnava, they are not bound by Varnashrama, but they also follow. They also follow. For the sake of preaching, Uttamadhikari come to the level of Madhyamadhikari, and they also follow. So even if a Vaishnava, a pure Vaishnava, is not bound to Varnashrama, he also doesn't break the Varnashrama rules, regulations. He follows, establishes example to set example for the society. Society. And the Nirapeksha, Swanishta, Parinishta, Nirapeksha Vaishnavas are there. Of course, that discussion, if we bring, we'll go into whole thing. Acharyas described in their commentaries to the Shastra. So, Nirapekshas don't require Varnashrama. Swanishtas, they of course require Varnashrama. Parinishtas, even if they don't require, but still they follow Varnashrama for Loka Sangraha, for preaching. So that's the ultimate point. Hare Krishna, Jai, Dhanyapat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.